Hi. What I'd like to share with you is an amazing story. At least it was for me, and I think that you'll wonder if the experience is real or not real. It's okay. It's all right. You see, I'm just an ordinary guy that had an extraordinary experience, and let me be very specific. On November 17th, 2009, at exactly 6:24 in the morning, and I know all of the people that work with numbers are going to start doing the math. I had no idea why that time was so specific to me, but it was. You see, let me back up just a few minutes, because I woke up at 6 o'clock that morning and something amazing took place. I went to jump out of bed and I was paralyzed. I couldn't move. Now, I'm sure that's happened to other people. It only stayed for 24 minutes. Now, during that time, for the first 23 minutes, what was happening was that I was wide awake, but it felt like a lot of things were leaving from around me. You ever had that feeling? It wasn't anything I can describe to you, and maybe it doesn't make a lot of sense to you right now. But as that feeling and belief and thoughts that were leaving me finally came to an end, at exactly 6:24, I had a download, and that's the only way I can describe it to you. It was a feeling that was like a tornado when it hit. There was a 3D movie running in the back of my mind that had images that I couldn't identify. And what was taking place was pretty extraordinary. It wasn't a deposit in my mind. It was a deposit that completely surrounded me. And later I was to discover that what was happening was that I was getting knowledge that gave me the power of knowing how life works. Now let me explain. Having the power of knowing how life works really has been defined down to this. I was given knowledge as to how the universe began. Now stay with me. Remember, I'm just an ordinary guy. I don't understand it all, but I understand most of it. Along with knowing how the universe began, I have been given the knowledge of what happens as we go through our physical lives. And then the big one. What happens when we die? Now, that was pretty significant in those 23 minutes because, quite honestly, nobody had ever explained to me in a way that I could understand what actually happens when we die. Now, I'm laying there in bed, wide awake, paralyzed, and I'm wondering, have I died? But none of the things were happening that have happened to all of the explanations that came before this. I saw no white lights. There was no tunnel. There was none of the things that we've heard about. So I laid there and I just sort of let it all happen. And the reason I did was this. You see, since I was 10 years old, I've asked the question, not to anybody particular. I didn't say, God, can you tell me how life works? I just asked the question every day, how does this all work? And I will tell you that I never expected an answer. I had no idea what was to come. And here I am, 47 years after that, and I'm laying in bed, and now this knowledge surrounds me. And I could have tried to force myself out of bed. I could have done some other things, maybe, but I didn't. I just let it happen, which is a lesson for all of us. If by chance you get an opportunity to have some extraordinary experience, enjoy it. Accept it. Because what I'm going to explain to you when I talk about the power of having and knowing how life works is way outside anything we've ever been taught. But when you actually listen and learn about it, you're going to understand that it fits everything in your life. It does. You can actually go back and start from your childhood and as far back as you can remember, and you are going to understand how it all worked, how it fit together, why you are exactly where you are right at this moment. You'll understand all of it. Can you imagine having the ability to walk through a major crowd? This is what I do. And knowing every time that you look at somebody and all of those faces that are passing you, you're able to say, if you only knew the power of knowing how life works like I do, you would be able to be smiling. You'd feel good about yourself. You'd know that your future was powerful and that you were going to prosper and have abundance or anything you want in life. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine having the feeling of knowing everything that's available in the world can be yours? Now, I'm going to tell you there's been books and videotapes that have come before this one. And when you think about it, they got you away there. They got you somewhere near what I'm talking about, but they didn't take you all the way. They left some gaps for you. And that's where I come in. My name is Don Saunders. I'm the author of the new book, The Power of Knowing How Life Works. My email is don@thepowerofknowinghowlifeworks.com. And I will tell you that if you spend some time with me, I won't let you down. I'm going to give you information that you have never heard before. And we're going to have some fun with it. Because it really is a powerful, empowering message. It's non-political, multi-denominational, and if you have no religious preference, it can be non-denominational. And I will tell you something else. You can apply it to all of your traditional thoughts without fear. In fact, what I'm going to ask you is to imagine that you have a box. And I'd like to have you put all of those traditional thoughts in that box for safekeeping. Then you can close the box up, set the box someplace safe, and come back, and I will share with you how it all works. So thanks for listening. I will see you soon.